So let's go into the question. We try to solve the question. So the first question is we are calculating the time required for the irrigation. So the formula we use to calculate the time required for the irrigation is time is equal to D times S times L over 3,600 times Q. So now let's start fill in this formula using the data we have here. So our D, which is the depth, is it's here where it is saying required application, which is 140 millimeters. The depth is calculated in millimeters instead of centimeters or meters. So we are going to say 140 millimeters times the spacing. The spacing here is the spacing of the furrow, which is 90 centimeters. Now we have to convert that into meters. So we are going to say 90 centimeters over 100 for us to convert from centimeters to meters. Here we'll get 0.9 meters. The one we are going to use as our spacing. Then the length of the furrow, you've been told according to our data says 100 meters over 3,600 multiplied by Q. How we find our Q is, according to our data we've been given, we say our Q is 0.7 times 100, which will give us what? When you try to punch on our calculator, it will give us what? Then your findings over 100 again. So here you are going to have 0.7 again. When you calculate this time, this over 100, you are going to have 0.7. Then you just round off this figure, it will give you 1 liter per second. This is our D. So our D, you have 1 liter per second. And now let's calculate the figures we've been given. So now let's proceed with our calculations now. When you multiply all these figures on top, then you divide with the 3,600. Since when you say 3,600 times 1, it will still give you this one. The answer you are going to get is 3.75 hours. So this was our time, ladies and gentlemen. So in case you didn't understand here on the 0.7, this is the furrow inflow per 100 meters. So this 100 is the length of the furrow. So you say the furrow inflow times the length of the furrow per 100. Since per means division, per 100 meters. That's where we are getting 0.7. Now when you round off this, it will give you 1. Let's go to another question, which is question B. Now, our question B, we are finding the number of furrows that can be irrigated at the same time. So now, then we find the number of furrows that can be irrigated at the same time is, first we have to say the canal inflow over the furrow inflow. Now, according to our data, what's the canal inflow here? The canal inflow is the pump source in the canal, which is 20 liters per second. And now, what was our furrow inflow according to our data? So we had found out, say, our furrow inflow according to our data was 1. 1 liter per second, which is giving us 20 what? 20 furrows. So in that particular time, which is 3.75, we are able to irrigate about 20 furrows. So we dive in again to the next question, which is saying the area that can be irrigated at the same time, which is a very simple thing again to calculate. So ladies and gentlemen, how we calculate the area that can be irrigated at the same time? First, we have to find the area of one furrow. Then we multiply it times the number of furrows which can be irrigated at the same time. So now, according to our data here, we have to get the spacing times the length of the furrow, so that we calculate the area of one furrow. So now, the spacing. So it's the spacing times the furrow. The furrow length, which is, so what was your spacing according to your data? Is 90 centimeter. Now you convert that 90 centimeter into meter. So you are going to have 0.9 meter multiplied by 100 meters, which is the furrow length. Here, when you calculate here, you are going to have 90 meters squared. This is your area of one furrow. Now, we want to find the area of 20 furrows which can be irrigated at once. So you are going to say 90 meters squared times 20. Then your answer is 1,800 meter squared. So this is the area that can be irrigated at once. The area of 20 furrows. Then we go to the last question now, which is the time required to irrigate the whole field, which is a very simple one again. So how we find the time that can be irrigated? The time required to irrigate the whole field is, first of all, you have to go back to the time which you had to irrigate the area of the specified number of furrows. So you're going to say we are at 3.75 hours, which was the time to irrigate about the area which is 1,800 meters squared. Then now, since we want to find the time required to get the whole field, first you have to find the meter squared of the entire field. So here we are given, according to our data, area of the whole field, which is 10 hectares, ladies and gentlemen. So now we have to convert that 10 hectares into meters. So we all know to say 1 hectare equals to 10,000 meters squared. Then here we've been given 10 hectares, which is X. So you're just going to multiply 10 times 10,000 hectares, which will lead you to 100,000 meters squared. So now, here is our X. We want to find the time required to irrigate this 100,000 meters squared. So we are going to cross multiply. We say 3.75 times 100, then we divide it with 1,800, and your time will be 208.33, which is approximately 209 to be on the safe side hours. For more questions, you can comment below so that we do another video based on the question you want. Thank you.